Hey everybody, what's up? Wavejump here, and welcome to my community spotlight once again. This is my kind of second episode, and this is going to be mainly featuring builds. Now, I figured this would be really cool because we have some amazing builders on the server, especially. And yeah, anyways, we're just gonna hop into it, and we're going to be covering three people today. We're going to be covering Shatter, AlmightyElement, and WynterStormGaming, or Winter. And I will have, of course, all their names in the title. And if they have a way that they want to be, credited, then I'll probably add their info. And if not, they could let me know, and I'll add it. Anyways, we're starting off with Shatter's base. Now, Shatter, as you know, is my patron, but he's also an amazing builder. He does some crazy redstone stuff and building stuff. This is just the outside of his base. This isn't even like close to what a lot of it is. There's a little cool like house over here, which obviously looks pretty awesome. There's a little melon farm from the very beginning and his little hut that he started in originally, as far as I remember. And yeah, it's just generally a really cool place. But if you think that this is cool, you've seen nothing so far, because there is a lot more to this base than just that. And we're going to go ahead and enter in through here so that I could show you just a little bit of the secrets of insides. First off, in order to enter the base, there's a secret button that opens up a door behind the fireplace. If you press that button there, you'll notice it actually opens up a secret fireplace entrance. And I actually ended up finding this in spectator mode while I was trying to figure out what to spotlight, and I thought it was a really cool entrance. And I feel like overall Shatter's builds do really well in that they blend just kind of generally a lot of really good looking building with some redstone. Here it looks like is an item sorting system. I mean, you could see there's a huge amount of redstone behind this. Here, and actually I was going to cover this later on, is one of Shatter's cooler builds. I think it's pretty small, but it is Shatter's office. So there's a little accountant here, and actually I worked with Shatter a bit to get this armor stand the exact position. A little armor stand, a sword that says "Death to the Dead." I'm assuming that's an item system. I haven't actually seen Shatter on today, so I didn't get a chance to talk to Shatter about spotlighting. And actually, but anyways, you have shulker boxes full of a ton of stuff, and just generally a lot of really cool buildings. Now, along with this, if we go ahead and look out of his office, actually, I think we might be able to get to it from here anyways. Actually, I'll show this. And this is actually a cool little furnace smelting area. It uses levers and minecart chests to go ahead and smelt a ton of items at once, which is, again, really well done. Just a normal auto smelter right there. If we walk up through here, you'll notice it looks like something Shatter's working on. Shatter's doing a ton of stuff, and it amazes me how, especially in this episode, since I'm featuring builders have the patience to do this. And this is actually what it's going to show off, because you can see it from the office. This is Shatter's storage room, and this isn't actually even all of where Shatter stores his stuff. Shatter has a ton of just random stored stuff all over the place, and Shatter has another like base somewhere else. I'm not going to say where that is right now, where some extra stuff is stored. There's, as you can tell, a sugarcane farm there. There's a cactus farm. There's a ton of sorted chests. There's just all sorts of stuff. Like, this is literally a shulker box just for cyan clay. And I'm just going to F1 because I said it'd be an F1. But anyways, no, I won't bother with it. Anyways, so that's pretty much most of Shatter's base that I'm going to show off right now. I might show off more in the future, but what I really wanted to show off right now, along with of course all this cool item storage, and I forgot to cover this as well, this is also a really cool storage system. I'm going to teleport myself to 2916 882790, and here you'll notice this, by the way, this kind of popped up out of nowhere. I come onto the server one day and I just kind of see something. And take a look at this. This is Shatter's, I don't even know exactly what it is. It's like a water tower type thing with minecarts going through it. It's just really amazing looking. You can tell there are all these little minecart rails going through it. I don't actually know if there's any particular function to this, but I came around and this is kind of here. I don't know if this redstone is running right now, but last time I came here, there was a whole, like, these lights were pulsating. It looks like, again, it's not running right now. And as you can tell, there's a whole thing that says Acme Co. It's just amazing, and it's astonishing to me sometimes how well people can build this stuff. Here is a little, like, minecart area. If I jump through here, you notice it actually does lead just basically around, and just looks awesome. I mean, obviously a lot of this stuff is not necessarily functional, but it's very cool looking, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it looks awesome, and it is as it should be. Anyways, so this is obviously a very cool little base. Here, this was actually built by Lay, and it may feature Lay in a community spotlight at some point, but Lay's also been a little bit inactive lately, so if Lay starts back up again, then of course I will do featuring there. Anyways, next off, we're going to be covering AlmightyElement. AlmightyElement actually does happen to be online right now, but Almighty said that they would be in their base as I was recording, which is fine. Anyways, so here, first off, you know, you're sitting outside, you see this cool little hut with a nice little pulsating beacon, which is just really cool, obviously. And also, I should mention, sorry for lag, but I can't do too much about it. I'm actually surprised I'm being able to do this all in one take. I was expecting to do a bunch of little clips and stitch them together like I did last time. But because a lot of this stuff is on the server anyways, it's actually perfect. I could just do this right here. Anyways, you'll notice here there's, you know, little furnaces and all that. Pretty simple. And let me close that up there. Actually, no, right. So this is one of, or the entrance to, the kind of shallower entrance, I would say, to Almighty's base. You'll notice there's a little to-do thing, all that. You know, a bunch of chests. Pretty simple, normal base. And there is a cool entrance to the rest of Almighty's base here. But I'm not going to be going over that specific entrance right now, because I want to go over the cooler entrance, the real entrance, the one that you would want to see. And that happens to be right here. And also I'm having this weird bug where I show up invisible, which annoys me. But anyways, if I click right here, you'll notice you have to essentially make it through that labyrinth to get to the secret entrance here. Again, if you go ahead here, here's the base you're just in, and it automatically is, it's all triggered by redstone. It's very awesome. This is an elevator, and this leads down to what Almighty calls a mafia base. Anyways, this is going to bring the elevator up here, and we're going to take the elevator all the way down to the base. This is amazing, and it's something that I absolutely love. It's probably one of the coolest builds on the server, and Almighty is working on more too. I'm not going to be showing off that in this specific video because it's not done, but you'll notice here, we could just head on straight on down. There's some lava there. This elevator doesn't work amazingly on the way up, but on the way down it works very well. Anyways, here we go. So there's the elevator, and I can send it back up by pressing that button. There are some shulker boxes here, I guess just for basic storage. Looks very nice. And here is the beginning of the entrance to the base. Now I should mention, all this stuff looks cooler probably on any of your clients because I have a really low render distance and graphical settings set right now, just so that I could record and generally just get more than 3 frames, which right now I'm getting only around 12-15. But anyways, first off, you know, Almighty has all these really cool little people working at their desk. I almost did a double take yesterday because I hadn't even noticed, but look at this. Almighty just has a bunch of Totems Resurrection, which are fairly rare items in the game, just kind of sitting around here in these item frames. And I didn't even notice this until recently. There's a little lava face there. It just generally looks amazing. Moving on here, first off, this is typically closed, so let me close it back up with the button on the left. I always forget the button on the right does nothing. Anyways, so you notice here's this little area, and of course Almighty has a very cool looking piston door right here. Also, for those of you who have watched the last community spotlight, this is indeed the same AlmightyElement who made that cool image that I used for the thumbnail. I may use it for the same thumbnail for the thumbnail today as well, because I think it just looks amazing. Anyways, we're going to close that door back up behind us and continue on here to, I don't know if you could say this is the main room, but I'm going to say it's the main room. The main room of Almighty's Mafia base. Now this is kind of a storage room. It has some farms here, so a sugarcane farm. As far as I know, this was built fairly recently. Almighty's been recording some footage of it with Replay Mod, if I remember correctly. There's a little anvil here, and I didn't even notice this, but there's an observer here, so that it looks like if the anvil breaks, it'll automatically push down another anvil, which is amazing. I've never seen something like that before. A bunch of chests full of nothing apparently. A dropper for some concrete powder. I guess it's a quick like refilling station of sorts. And here I'm assuming is some sort of item storage system. Here I guess would be, I'm assuming this would be where you would dump your items for the item storage system, if it is one. I also, by the way, do love the lighting here. It's done really well. And of course we have a huge amount of chests with a bunch of stuff in it. Almighty is one of the top players on the server, I would say, and both Almighty and Shatter just create amazing stuff that like never ceases to amaze me. I mean, this stuff is, by the way, because Almighty lost some items, so those chests are temporary as far as I know. Almighty actually had I think ghast, I believe it was in here, and the ghast looked really cool, but it despawns for some reason, so I gave Almighty some ghast eggs to replace it, but there's not much we could do about that. Anyways, it's just overall a really cool base, and I think it's amazing. Also, Almighty happens to be the player with the second highest playtime, the player with the first highest playtime being Shatter. Now, I don't know how this item storage system works, so I'm going to see if I could find sugarcane here. And if so, I'm going to put it in the chest. If not, I'm just going to put it in here. And I'm assuming it'll get sorted out there somehow. But I don't know. Anyways, we're going to go ahead here. And there's one last person I want to cover who also happens to be online right now. And that is WynterStormGaming. Now, WynterStormGaming has created some really cool builds before. One of which we don't have on hand right now. Winter created a build of my skin in Minecraft, which is pretty cool. I didn't actually see it, I saw a picture of it on Discord. And Winter's working on some stuff to send to me right now. But I wanted to go ahead and show something that Winter actually just kind of whipped up and sent to me very, very recently. And that I end up finishing setting up today. And that is for our duels. So if you didn't know, on the server there's a new plugin called Duels, and what it lets us do is essentially duel each other. So you could go ahead and choose a kit and choose an arena and battle that person. So if I go to home winter sphere, if I don't spell home wrong, you'll notice Winter has an amazing looking, you'll see this in just a second, an amazing looking arena that he created. This is, I think, just really awesome looking. I like how it represents the four different little biomes of sorts. And it generally just looks pretty awesome. It has like a little almost egg shape to it, which it generally just looks awesome, and I love the way it was done. Now I actually did end up taking this, and it doesn't look as good, but I decided to try and pour water over the top of one of them, and it created this little like water sphere. I thought this looked kind of cool, but this didn't copy over correctly with Roll because there's nothing below the sand. And and Winter just changed his name to Winter SG. Yeah, overall I think it's just really awesome. Oh no, Winter just lost his tags and all of that. 1 minute. I'm gonna have to give Winter his tag back and probably find him his homes in just a little bit. But anyways, that I think is probably it for this video. Now, if you want to submit your own creations, go ahead and leave it. Go ahead and click the link in the description below, which will go ahead and have a link to a video on how to submit the stuff. The info will be in the description there. And if you can't send it to me with that, you could probably send it to me via Discord or something. But also, yeah, I've gotten some really cool stuff recently. You may have already seen it, but there is a somebody who goes back, or whose name is EJSEIW. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. Who created a very cool map, which I actually did a separate video on. So, of course, thank you for that. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, go ahead and leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, although given this is a community spotlight, I figure you're probably all subscribed. And let me know if you want to see like specific thing when it comes to community spotlights. Like if you want to see a change in community spotlights, just let me know. Like for example, if you wanted to have me change up the format, if you'd like the first community spotlights format better, let me know. I actually decided this time to kind of try and pull together a little bit of a couple of bullet points beforehand before I created this video, because I figured it would make it flow a lot better, and I think it did. For Almighty's and Winters, they didn't have any points, but for Shatters, as Shatter does have a lot of things, I had a bunch of bullet points, and also, you know, Shatter's base is huge, so, not to say Almighty's isn't, it's just, Almighty is much more straightforward. Anyways, yeah, once again, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'm dragging this on off way too long, and thanks for watching. Bye.